Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to the evening show with Sid Kim here on EFM. Thanks for staying with us. Coming up next, we talk to world-renowned conductor 이영칠 about performing music in Europe. So please stay tuned for that. Now it's time to mention the sponsors of the evening show, at least for this section. They are the cultural core of Korean Buddhism, 아시아나항공 and 생각대로 Tea. Earlier this month, our next guest conducted the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra in London at the age of 39. Korean conductor 이영칠's debut in the UK is just the latest of his many accomplishments in the music world. He's previously served as the principal conductor for orchestras in Bulgaria and the Czech Republic and released CDs and a DVD. Maestro, thank you very much for coming and joining us here on the evening show.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
All right, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, let's get started with your background information. First of all, how did you get started in music?
Actually, I was a star music not by conductor. I was a players. I was home players. I was study 1990 at the USA, which is the first city was Chicago.
Chicago,
yes,
okay.
And the second city was in New York. I was a doctorate degree from the French horn. But after that, I'm very interesting, during that time, doctorate degree times, I was very interesting to be a conductor. So I was taking 2 jobs with the player and then conductor.
So you were going to school in the States, or did you play for an orchestra as well?
I was played for orchestra as a player before in the United States. But after that, I got a doctorate degree, so I come back to Korea, a little bit of work as a player. Then I'm very interesting for the conductor. So I have a chance to have one concert with the conductor in Bulgaria. And I just go there and conduct. And then at that time, there was a very the famous conductor from the Bulgaria conductors. He was a professor in Sofia Academic Conservatory. He was very interesting me, and he offered to me, why don't you come and study more? So I was decided to go there, and then I was a little bit lucky because after that 2 years I got a good manager from the Bulgaria. Then I started very fast to be a conductor in the Europe, especially Eastern Europe. I've been working like 10 different countries in the Eastern Europe: Bulgaria, Romania, Serbia, Ukraine, Russia, Czechos, Hungary, and what else? In Spain. And actually, every season I have 60 concerts for Europe, and most of the 50 different orchestra. So it was pretty much time. So most of the time is 260 days in the Europe.
Wow. So that's pretty interesting because of course I listen to classical music, but by no means am I an expert of classical music. I had always assumed that if you were a conductor, you stayed with one orchestra, one symphony orchestra for several months or even a year, but instead you jump around from orchestra to orchestra? Is that how it usually works?
Because that call we say chief conductors.
Chief conductors. Well, I didn't mean to apply that.
I have a chief conductor job in Czechia, also in the Bulgaria, but I'm a young person.
Chief conductor.
Yeah,
I
chief
see.
conductor.
Okay.
I'm a young person. If you say in the players, I'm not that young, but the conductors, I'm like a baby.
Oh,
so I have many opportunity. Now is Europe. They changed to give me some chance to young generations. So they are very interesting. Especially I'm a Korean too. So when I do first tour for Sofia Philharmonic with the Bulgaria All City Orchestra, then people whisper like talking to me. Then they give me a chance to other countries like Ukraine. Last month I do tour for 12 cities in Ukraine. After that, people know me and they give me a chance. So now
you're a very busy man.
Yeah, I mean, I love doing conductors. Everybody say, how do you want to conduct? Because I like it. I love it. That's it. So I'm very happy. Yeah.
So conducting, how do you become a conductor? I mean, you told me your story. You just told us your story, how you went to Bulgaria, and a famous conductor took you under his wing, so to speak, and sort of helped you and mentored you. Is that how it usually works, or do people usually go to school to learn about conducting? Or?
like writers, for example, writers. When they writers, they have the novel or poetry or movie, drama writers.
Right.
They separate. But writer is a writer.
Okay.
So for me, like I was studied as a player, but I was working in orchestra. So I still do, not a conductor, but I do for more than 20 years as a musician. So conductor is not a, I mean, is a musician, but is not a players. Conductor is like directors,
Right.
like a soccer. When you have a soccer teams, how make the harmonization, and the good soccer team is good teamwork. So conductor is with the music, also with the the coaches and like power of the how try to making the 80 people together.
Right.
So I don't know. Before I was a player, I don't know. I don't have. I thought I don't have that much ability. But when I be a conductor, and then it was very fun actually. So every time I go to orchestra is new. So it was scary. But after 10 minutes, people likes me. Then they want to try together. I don't know why, but it happened. So.
Do you think it is a requirement to be a really good musician as a player before becoming a good conductor, or not necessary?
No, it's not necessary. Important is, there's a two ways conductor. One conductor, they want to making a music, how to making a music, like a player too. There's another conductor or players, how they enjoy. But my personality, maybe I'm a second person. Because I never think about the show making a music. I just try to enjoy the music, following the music. For example, everybody asks me how you listen for the classical music. I say, music is a music, same. So always people say, oh, classical is difficult to, hear something, learn. Even you say to me.
Right.
But when you go someplace, you don't know anybody, you don't know which orchestra, you don't know person, but if you feel very happy, sometime, right?
Right.
If you listen music, that's the music. If you feel happy, that's the music.
Right.
If you're happy and you interesting, then you want to see what name of the piece. Then you find the piece, then you finally know who's the composer, who's the which orchestra, then that's the start for the learning for classical music. First of all, you have to enjoy.
I see.
Yeah,
I see. So you shouldn't start with necessarily, okay, this is a famous composer, this is a famous composition by a famous, this is a famous symphony orchestra. It's you listen to the music, if you enjoy it, then that's the most important part,
For
right?
example, if you say, okay, every, big, like, for example, the big famous car, but sometimes it's not good. Sometimes
Right.
nobody knows the car names, but it's good. Something
Right.
like that. So definitely is from the personalities. If you're the person who like the Mozart, then he's like a Mozart. If he person who don't like the Mozart, then he don't want to listen to Mozart. Try the other piece. Not always 100%, oh, okay, everybody like the Mozart. No, it's wrong. So I always think about which piece I like it. Then I fall in, then that's my piece. Something like that.
Oh, I see.
Step by step.
Okay, good advice. And you mentioned earlier that maybe you were the second type of composer, so you're there to have fun, to enjoy the music, and not necessarily make everything so technical and to push people into the ground, right?
Like I working for professional orchestra.
Right.
Every members study more than 20 years, and the members.
So they're professionals.
They already know how to make your music. So I just go there only. Like if I'm working for 10 years of same orchestra, I don't have to tell. But when I go to first orchestra, they never met me. So I have to explain. But they already know how to make the technical things. So I tell one thing, okay, you have to enjoy yourself, then I enjoy. Then we enjoy, then audience enjoy. So please open your heart. Especially, Eastern Europe it was a communist country before. So they are very march. So I always go there first to say to them, open your heart and then try to enjoy the music with the color and the phrasingly, everything. And after 10 minutes or 30 minutes, they change. And they are together harmonics.
Well, that's a little different from what a lot of people probably picture when they think of a conductor. They think of an old Eastern European man, very strict, very hard driving, like a general, in the army, and that's not the same anymore?
It was before, like 1985. Before 1985 was a communist country. But after 1985, most of Eastern Europe go to democracies. Before, maybe it's understandable, like communists always do. Every time good concert making a 1 month rehearsals. This is impossible now. So music and study is a difference. Music and study maybe try hard can be better.
Right.
But music, if you professional, the first way they have to enjoy. If they're happy, then people happy. So for example, if you see that some musician feel very emotionally, sometimes you find out he make the motion himself, or sometimes he following the music. Then how you think? If you following the music, then you following music together, right? So something like that. So I was very nervous because they expect me, I'm a European guy, I'm a Koreans, Asian guys. They never see the Asian conductor in their life.
Right.
So they don't trust me first. So when I do it for 1 hour or 2 hours, then I explain. Even they don't speak English. So how do I conduct? I singing. I have to sing. So music is the same word. So when I was conducting Royal Philharmonic, I was the first rehearsal. I said to Royal Philharmonic, I said like this: okay, I'm very happy because now I can speak English, so you understand. The Eastern Europe, some people understand, some people not, because in communist time they're only learning Germany, Russians, Ruski. So if I don't know the language, how am I conduct? I can sing because music is the same word. That's why it can be possible.
Very universal, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a very universal language.
Same feeling. We are human beings. If I like it, and then players like it.
Well, you just mentioned the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, so I'd like to ask you about that experience. But first, we're going to take a quick break, and right after break, we'll be back with more with conductor I영칠 in just a moment.
Okay.
The Evening Show with Sid Kim.
All right, welcome back to the evening show, everyone. We're here with conductor I영칠. And right before the break, you mentioned conducting the Royal Philharmonic, which is a very prestigious orchestra. It was conducted in the past by people like Andrei Previn and Vladimir Ashkenazy, very famous conductors. What was that experience like, going to London and conducting this orchestra?
Every musician is dream on for the concert in London because London is the biggest market. So I was very lucky because they see my DVD and then they want me to conduct for their orchestra. But they only give a 1 day rehearsal, which means normal.
1 day?
Yeah, only one time because right before the concert, because they give me like auditions.
I see.
They don't trust the Asians, but they try. But it was lucky because after 1 year, then I have a great concert. And then people were very surprised. Right after that, they give me a guest conductor job. So now I'm doing for every years the 2 concerts in Royal Philharmonics. So it was very lucky. Also, next year I will have recordings with the Royal Philharmonics.
Oh, that's great.
Lucky, yes.
That's great to hear.
So basically they don't care about the nations. They only care about the music. So music is very deep, very strong, like a strong word in the world. Music is even you don't speak Russian, you don't speak Bulgarian, you don't speak English. Only show the heart and that they feeling, and then they trust and that they enjoy. For example, I'm not famous in London. Nobody knows. But after a concert, then they come to me. Oh, thank you. This is very. I'm very happy because they find out who you are. I'm Korean. Now they know Korean musicians. So that's why I choose the Arirang because Arirang is one of the traditionals, our country song. But every London people don't know about this song. But we don't have Arirang is only simple melody. They don't have orchestration. So but I want to show the people from the Europe who's the Koreans music. But I found the not difficult one because
Right.
every new composer is like a style like a European. But I want to show them the traditional melody. But we don't have arrangement, the orchestration for Arirang before. I know the one Arirang, 심형래, the movie.
Right.
That's the very ending of the Arirang, but this is arranged by American. So, I mean, it's okay, but I want orchestration Arirang from the Korean composer. So that's why I choose the one very famous, strong, composer in Korea, Park Jae-eun. I tell her to please, making the arrangement for Arirang, like a Korean, composer arrangement in Korean, song. But she has very good talent, and then she has a very American, European, Korean style. So after the first concert, Moscow Radio Orchestra, 2 months ago, and it was a great success. Also in Royal Field, people were very surprised and people were very happy about the
So it
Korean
was
song.
very well received. The people reacted very positively.
Yeah, because even I was very emotionally. Because this is my, melody.
Oh, it's Korean blood. With Korean blood, when you listen to Arirang, it has to do something.
If you go there, if you was there, maybe you are crying because I feel like this, Arirang melody with the Royal Philharmonics. How, impressed,
Okay, well, speaking of Korean, I'm sure you've been asked this question a million times, right? Beethoven's Virus, which is a very popular drama here in Korea, and a lot of people think that because of this drama, classical music became popular again here in Korea. What do you think about the effects of that drama?
Actually, I don't see the Beethoven drama.
You haven't seen it?
Yeah, I never seen. But people, my friend, colleagues always talk about it. Better see this, and then I know the story about this. But this conductor, it happened before, like 50 years ago. Like one of the best conductor in Russia, Bravinsky. He was like a strong person as a macho man.
Okay.
So even his conductor is like a god in that time. No one's beaten.
Right.
If someone say bad thing and he kicked out right away. That happened is 50 years ago. Now to 21st centuries. So this is many musicians has a union, unions.
Yes.
All of the orchestra has a unions. If a conductor do like this, then he never get a job.
So this is very sensationalized drama,
because,
right?
for example, Muti, one of the best conductor, Italian, the conductor, his name is Muti. He was a Lascar, the opera house, the conductor. But he acting like very strongly. Then finally he's kicked out from the orchestra by the orchestra member. So now
They kicked out the conductor.
Yeah. Because the union is very strong now in Europe and American too. So now conductor is not a person who's the control everything. Also, this kind of person cannot conduct as a good music, like this passion. But now is every good conductor has very nice, and then we are same person together. For example, Berlin Philharmonic, that Berlin
Yes.
Philharmonic. They have a 2 conductor audition. Daniel Barenboim, which is American conductor. Simon Netter is London conductor. But Daniel Barenboim is very famous. Then Simon Latter in that time.
Okay.
But when they final audition, the orchestra member, they are same, like a good conductor. But Daniel Barenboim is very strong acting. And after Simon Latter is very nice acting. And then do some very polite. And then after the audition, the Simon Latter winner. Because the orchestra member wanted him, the Simon Latter, because he's very nice. So now it's a change. There is no one like this in the world for like a conductor.
So I guess a lot of orchestras are thinking about things like not only leadership, of course, which is very important as a conductor, but chemistry. Everybody has to act well together.
For example, soccer, Hiddink.
Yes.
For example, Hiddink is when he was playing soccer, very strong. But personally, he's very nice for the every members, because every member never said Hiddink is bad. When they have games, maybe he have to be charisma, very strong. Conductor is like this, not always.
During the performance,
yeah,
though,
only
of course.
performance is I have to control for 80% on my hand. So I have to be very focused and strongly. But after that, conductor is the same humans.
Sure.
So relax and enjoy. Not always just charisma. Charisma only show up on the stage. That's the real conductor, I believe.
Right.
So now is every European conductors, they do like this way.
And I think there's a difference between, like you said before, when you're first learning to play an instrument or first learning to play in an orchestra, maybe you need that discipline to figure out to work hard and to become a good musician. But the people in the orchestra, as you say, they are professional. They've been playing for 20 years. They know what they're doing. You need someone, a leader, who can understand them and bring them together.
Yeah, because if they are student, maybe have to be very teaching way. But they are very professional. They already know Mozart, Beethoven better than me. Maybe we say Beethoven Concerto No. 5. How many times the orchestra play? More than 100 times.
Right.
They know better. But conductors, like a soccer team, Hidinku, maybe he is not good players, but he knows how to control, how to make good teams. Conductor is this, not control the music. He make the music with the person who harmonizations. That's very important. The good conductor has it together, not this way. So always when I go there, I have to say clearly what am my style. Please follow me my style.
Okay.
I know you many times to different way, but this is my way. Please follow me. That's the way to conduct.
And here, you're expected to conduct some performance throughout Korea in November. What do you plan on playing and where?
Because I've been the foreign chief conductor in Sofia Philharmonic, so they've been 15 years ago in Korea, but actually Eastern Orchestra has never been in Korea that much time, original orchestra, because Sofia Philharmonic is historically 80 years. So now it's 80 years birthday for the orchestra. So I bring them to in Korea November 2nd, 5th, and 6th, 8, 11. I have a 5 concert, different program. So I hope it's going to be very sensational, the program, because every time concert is a different program. Also with the Sofia Philharmonic, with the Korean conductors. So also people don't know me because I'm not working as a conductor in Korea. So probably November is my debut days.
Well, I'm interested. I'd like to go.
I will give you a free ticket.
Oh, thank you very much. Now, definitely I'm going. Definitely I'm going. Actually, I have one quick question for you. Any to end the interview, any words of advice for future conductors out there who are listening to this and they've watched Beethoven's Virus and they're thinking, oh, I must be mean and harsh and macho. Any words of advice for them?
I'll tell you one question, because this is not only musician. This is for the young generations. Everybody has a different talent, but the genius is, people say, okay, good musician is a genius. Always say it to me. But for me, it's not. Because a genius, maybe I said the Mozart and Bach is a genius.
Right.
But people, very important thing is you have to enjoy the music. When you, like a gamer, they play the game all day, all night.
Right.
If they don't like it, they cannot. So important is first, try enjoy the music, then, everything is going to well.
Right.
So important, if you don't want to listen to classic, okay, fine. But just try to listen anything, and if you like it, then listen. So first of all, if you don't like, don't listen. If you like, listen. That's my, answer.
Right. Yeah. Well, it sounds like good advice. Enjoy the music. That's the most important part. Everything stems from there. Okay. Well, that's all the time we have for our interview. Thank you once again for joining us this evening.
I hope so, because I'm a native Korean person, so my English may be...
Oh, no, your English is excellent. Thank you.
Pronunciation, everything. So sorry about it.
But, it was great.
Do my best. Okay.
It was great.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
All right. Well, thank you very much. That was conductor I영칠. And that's all we have for the evening show for this Thursday evening. But before we go, here are our prize winners for this evening. For the classical CDs, courtesy of Mr. I영칠, we have Sarah from the board who said, my favorite classical music is Beethoven's Piano Sonata Pathétique. My first encounter with this music was back when I was a freshman in college. A movie about Beethoven's love, Beethoven's Beloved, hit the theaters back then. I haven't gotten a chance to see it, but one of my dorm friends gave me a soundtrack to the movie as a birthday present. Music was a great friend for me whenever I was alone in the dorm room, and the soundtrack was one of the best. It was also then that I realized that there was another great classical number, Pathétique, other than Tchaikovsky's. Thank you for that message, Sarah. And also for the classical CD, 0201 Isung-won, 4 Seasons of Vivaldi, because the melody is so fresh, especially in spring. And 6237 Jung, for Elizabeth because that's what they first started to play as they learned piano. And then 8644, Michael Marion, Wagner is his favorite classical music. Good driving music, what Michael says, so congratulations. And finally, 5833, Son Kyung-hee, Bach number 1004. It was in the movie titled Violin Player. Just fell in love with it. You've got to listen to it yourself and you will know what I mean. For the musical tickets to single 0305 Cho, says Beethoven. It's everybody's favorite music. For the complimentary meal coupons to Via de Napoli, 5995 francs, says Caruso because of its powerful beauty. And for the Rosetta Stone English online subscription, 0544 Nam Sang-yeol, I love Chopin. And finally, for the Cello Photo Art Studio, 0301 Hinaso says, I like Chopin Nocturne, Opus number 27, number 2, because it has a beautiful melody. Now that's the world in a nutshell. This is Sid Kim signing off. Have a great night, everyone.